What happened to bronies? Where are they now? They used to be a super big part of the internet, then seemed to disappear overnight. I can't remember the last time I heard anything about them. The people who were bronies still exist. But what happened to them? The version of the show the bronies loved ended years ago. I think many bronies grew out of their phase, while some are just less vocal about it on the internet now. My canon take is a lot of them became furries. Most of them just accepted the fact that they are furries and got sort of absorbed into the greater Borg of the furry community. They watch Bluey now. They moved on to Final Fantasy XIV. Ex-brony here. Left after finding out the fandom isn't that big on love and friendship, despite what the show preaches. I also realized what an annoying twerp I was, always shoving it down everyone's throat. And always repeating that damnable phase, I'm going to love and tolerate the shit out of you. It's not love or tolerance. It's called being passive-aggressive. I wager many bronies also outgrew this phase. Being bullied, or they simply merged with the furry fandom. Watching Bluey, they became Rick and Morty fans. The show ended a long time ago. They grew up. Some grew out of it. Others are hardcore furries or whatnot. Didn't the show shift towards fully human characters? That might have something to do with it. I imagine it's like if Pokémon suddenly focused on anthropomorphized. It'd alienate a lot of people. Bronies are still very much alive, but the internet has moved on to new targets for its spotlight. They're no longer the cool thing to laugh at or make fun of. Or the internet just wanted a new trend to hop on. There's only so much you can do with haha bronies and their bad qualities before people realize there's no more steam to be had. Not a brony, but a dad of a 5-year-old girl. I genuinely think that MLPFIM is a good show. Diverse characters and girl power, etc. This is coming from a 39-year wilderness skills instructor. If my daughter wants to learn to knit or sew, I will teach her that. If she wants to split her enemies in two from across the room with a tomahawk, I will teach her that too. Imagine announcing on the internet you love polka dots. You love polka dots so much you create the Polka Dot Lovers Society. Then everyone starts making fun of you, harassing you and acting like you're a freak for loving polka dots. It's not hard to imagine how fast you'd shut up about it and keep it between yourself and other dotties. MLP Generation 5 happened. It's hard to enjoy that show enough to want to advertise that you even watch it. It's decent at its best, even the music is worse in G5. Basically, bronies are known for liking Generation 4. It had good stories and good music. Then Generation 5 came and now all the bronies are just watching the show crash and sink into sea of disappointment. Exile. I knew a guy who became a brony after high school. He is now 32 years old, unemployed, and an avid Trump supporter. LMAO. I used to love My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. The fandom was gigantic and lots of artists did drawings, songs, animations. It was all over internet back then and they did an amazing job contributing to the fandom. Then Hasbro switched to something too realistic with real humans. I loved the fantasy world with ponies and dragons. I don't want to see high school girl stuff. I thought they all followed Gamergate, then became incels. Still around. All good things end. And overall I still have many fond memories. Special times indeed, and wonder if it will ever happen again in my life. The best thing about the fandom for me were the few close friends and the truly amazing times at conventions local here in Australia and going to BronyCon and GalaCon in the US and Germany, respectively. Yes, some of us have gravitated to the furry fandom and I'm a fan of Bluey open mouth smile. Just saw someone complaining about a brony over at our choosing beggars a couple days ago. VR chat probably. I thought you said brownies and I am like WTF is wrong with brownies? I watched the shows. I listened to the music. That's it. Working away my life. I still occasionally listen to some of their music mixes. But at this point I just moved on. Video games Stranded Alien Dawn and Metal Gear Solid. Family driving around the kids' siblings to their appointments. And just life that is not ponies. They still exist. I work in pest control and I had to go into an attic of a house to inspect. The attic hatch was in the homeowner's room and the walls were filled with pictures of naked furries and a ton of My Little Pony merch. Here, less online presence is due to aging, chilling out, and interests shifting like any big movements on the internet. G5 is cool. Just some of the older farts don't want to move on from G4. There was even someone on Twitter who tried for years to petition for G4 to get proper closure. Show ended well as far as the wider community was concerned. But it became a meme for a while. Before it just kinda became sad to see. In any case, G5 has been fun. Conventions are still a thing. Life goes on. We're still here. Making art, music, animations and fanfiction. We're just not as vocal as we used to be as Gen 4. The Gen bronies came from completed in 2019 and Gen 5 being a letdown. A lot of us, myself included, ended up in the furry fandom. I wonder what happened to them as adults. I remember being in a city once visiting a friend and we ended up walking through a hotel lobby where there was a brony convention. It was very bizarre. What I remember is the late teenage boys holding their hands like they were hooves and hopping around, while their mom was their chaperone. These guys were probably 17-19. I wonder how they got on in life. And what they do for a living. Most of the bronies I know ended up as trans women, funnily enough. The show ended. I miss it and follow G5, but it hasn't captured the lightning in a bottle G4 did. That's all. We got new fandoms now. They all became adults and got away from social media. I hope. I get the argument that there's a lot to learn from MLP. But not if you're a grown cis male. Went to school with a guy who was a brony after high school. He was a weird fucking guy. Still is. With or without the whole My Little Pony thing. And from videos of their conventions and shit on YouTube. I'm going to say they're all like that. It's an odd thing to be attached to. Especially when a lot of these guys redo the animations and make them into an adult version. This is a show targeting little girls. Not grown men. They evolved into angry incels. They were all rounded up by the FBI. On Tumblr. Former brony, grew out of it. In other words, I matured, got out being a loner. Gone, I hope. Where are the bronies? Are they safe? Are they alright? It seems that I'm your anger. You killed them. No. Most of them now identify as women. Women ponies. Ponies with tits. Or became furries. In jail, bro. Most of them are in jail for touching kids. Posting anonymously online asking what happened to bronies. Where are they now? Trying desperately to find their brawny brothers of years past. IDK what you are talking about, I still bake them regularly. You seen that horse video? All in prison most likely. I think they finally got the message that they were annoying and retreated back into their own bubbles. Hopefully we bullied them to extinction.